Something about the melody of the German language that's almost sounds a bit Australian. Yeah, mate. Tschüss. Tschüss. Hello, everyone. My name is Magnus. I'm from Norway, and right now I'm outside a random church in Hamburg, Germany. And I'm on my way to a theater rehearsal with a group called briseDe, an improv theater. So I'm an improv performer. I've been doing improv on and off in Norway for the past 10 years. And I also love language learning. I learned a lot of different languages. I speak Chinese. The past couple of 2 years, I've been learning German. So now I'm here to play German improv. That has always seemed to me like the sort of greatest challenge for speaking a language is to be able to actually play improv. So I'm here for a rehearsal to practice for a musical show, an improvised musical. That means no scripts, no preparation for songs. You just go straight in. And I've never done German improv before. So it's going to be very interesting. Sehr wunderschön, wunderschöne Haare.
Danke.
Ja. Wir sind hier in steife Brise Übungszimmer und hier ist Jan Hendrik, ja?
Ja, Jan Hendrik.
Jan Hendrik, ja. Genau. Und ja, wie geht's?
Sehr gut. Ich freue mich voll, dass du da bist, dass du den weiten Weg auf dich genommen hast, um uns hier zu unterstützen, tatkräftig bei unseren Shows. Und
ja, und unterstützen. Ich fühle, dass ich bin wie ein Baby und sie müssen alle mir unterstützen.
Das stimmt gar nicht. Da stapelt er sehr tief. Ja? Er bringt uns gerade bei, wie es wirklich funktioniert.
Nein. Aber ja, es wird Spaß. Und dann morgen spielen wir zusammen diese Seemannsgarn. Und was passiert in Seemannsgarn?
Eine Seefahrtsshow, ein bisschen wie Captain Blaubeer. 3 Leute oder in dem Fall 4 mit dir jetzt erzählen, was sie auf hoher See alles schon erlebt haben. Und das sehen wir auch szenisch natürlich dargestellt.
Ja, super. Und dann nächste Woche diese Musikalshow. So,
und der Krimi.
Und der Krimi, ja. Boah, das wird vielleicht ganz interessant. So, ja, wir freuen uns.
Was wird?
Hallo, so hier ist die Hanna, meine professionelle Hamburger Leiterin.
Auf jeden Fall.
Auf jeden Fall, ja. Wir haben da ein bisschen Zeit für diese Impro-Show. And I'm kind of nervous. I always get nervous before shows.
Ich sage, Nervosität zeigt dir, dass es dir wichtig ist.
Yeah.
Und wenn du sie kanalisierst als Energie, dann ist das super. So
genau.
Don't block it,
ja.
Use it.
Und ich suche nach diesem Gefühl. So, das ist
nach der guten Energie.
Ja, looking forward to that. Aber erstmal ein bisschen Tourismus auf den Strand.
Yeah.
That's where we're playing this evening. Sehr cool. Gut.
Oh, es stehen Stühle.
Und hier.
Ja, da musst du jetzt so rein.
Okay. Klein, aber...
Oho. Klein, aber trotzdem cool.
Ja.
Klein, aber oho.
Wie dich. Alright, backstage. Getting ready to play inside an old German ship. Super cool. Everything in German. For the first time. This is gonna be cool.
Erste Frage, dass ich gefragt habe, was war das? Erste Frage. Was ist?
Kein Wasser unter Kiel, ne?
Kein Wasser unter dem Kiel. Ja.
Wenn ich Miniatur mache, achte ich da drauf.
Ja. Nein, der Stadt Kiel.
Kiel?
Ja, genau, es gibt gar keine Wasser unter Kiel. Ja, deswegen sind alle Leute in Kiel, haben eine riesige Durst. Ja, das ist interessant, oder? Ja. Ich wollte es nur sagen. Ja, das ist keine verrückte Theorie. Steht auf Internet.
Gut, das weiß ich.
Sieht ein bisschen aus wie eine junge Frau. lustige junge Frau und wohnte tatsächlich in dem Nachbargebäude. Ein Tag, wenn unser Kapitän draußen war, um etwas zu essen zu kaufen, sah er, dass diese kleine, ein bisschen süße Monster saß in der Ecke von einem Café. Wollt ihr in einem kleinen Backstage-Film sein?
Was müssen wir denn machen?
Ich weiß nicht. Seemannsgarten.
Was heißt Seemannsgarten?
Kommen Sie, steife Brise. So gut gemacht. Das war wunderschön. Willkommen, ja. Yeah. Das ist auch ein gutes Ende für diesen Abend, finde ich. Here's the group. Oder ist es besser auf Deutsch? I'm thinking about how improv and like languages and shit. Have you guys played in English before?
Yes. No. Yes.
No. How is it to play in English compared to playing in German?
I feel it's a bit harder because I have to do a transfer for a minute for the to think differently about the words, and then it's also freeing because I feel like I don't have this much of an intellectual pressure to be on point, and it's more like in the moment, and I feel then like in the end I feel more free sometimes than in German.
Yeah, like what happens in your head when you're doing it in English?
At first I feel a bit overwhelmed, and maybe I observe myself talking English in the first few minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, how are you talking English, blah blah, is it the right word? And then it's just a flow, and then I don't have that of a high expectation for myself as maybe in German, so it feels a bit lighter.
Lighter or sort of easier than doing
Easier,
it in
yeah,
German?
I feel more like it's a bit more free, or a bit more playful maybe than in German.
More
Yeah,
playful.
yeah.
You're not as judgmental
Yes,
of yourself.
yeah, that's the word.
Ah, that's interesting.
I think when you make a mistake in the language, it can be a really cool joke, and people will be nicer to you,
Yeah.
and then you can use that as an impulse. So that's fun.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's like playful. You don't need to care if you're too much, if you're making mistakes,
Yeah.
which is like the number one thing, I think.
Oh,
Dankeschön.
Oh wow.
Yay! It's Wilson.
It's the day after my first ever show in German. Been able to digest a little bit, and it's probably worth it just to, document some thoughts after the first time you've done something. 'Cause there's a special magic in doing something for the first time. It only happens once, and then after this, it'll all be iterations and trying to improve on certain things and building up a little bit of experience. So first off, yesterday, I was pretty nervous. And anyone who's tried doing a little bit of improv probably knows the feeling of your body, whole nervous system is getting ready to do something that sort of by its very nature, it's limited how much you can plan. So it's very hard to focus on anything else yesterday. So I was forced focused on the show. So in the morning I was able to go through everything I thought I could possibly prepare for. And because it was like a sailor's theme, we're going to play sailor characters, I figured, okay, I can read some stories about that, get some vocab. This is a good way to use like AI chat models. You can tell them to feed you things based on whatever you're going to be talking about. So that was good to sort of kind of know that and then let go. When we went in, I felt a little bit of uncertainty in the beginning of the show. That also happens with sort of any time you play with a new group of people, but then it slowly started working. And also interesting to sort of feel the audience as soon as I started speaking. I think it was sort of, I was introduced as like a guest from Norway, so that did come through. But then it was, I think it was unclear to them whether I was playing a character who didn't speak perfectly or if it was actually me. And then they seemed to sort of get it after a while, and very quickly it was just completely well, it was completely fine that I didn't speak perfect. And also then you can get a sort of few cheap laughs just by the misunderstandings and the struggle that happens. Also had to ask what a couple of things meant a few times. We're going to do a song. I was given the word Sahne, which I've now learned actually means cream. I had no idea what that was. But again, that's just a fun little moment. Didn't create too much friction. What else was tricky? Oh yeah, popular cultural references from Germany completely goes over my head. So like certain people, I had no idea who were. But that's just an issue when you're playing sort of cross-culturally anyway, I think. But maybe also just another reminder that the more sort of universal, the more basic you can do things, the easier it kind of is to play with. It's tiring. You kind of get in a zone, and the more of a character you play, the easier it is. I think that if I'm going to try and be like a straight guy talking, then I notice I get a bit in my head just due to the, linguistic barriers. But as soon as you let it go into physicality and play some character, then it becomes a lot easier to find the right words in a way, and also it's not such a big issue when you don't have exactly the right way of formulating something, because that's just kind of part of your character then. It's a bit of a quirk that you can use. And I notice for me it's becomes easier. The larger, the weirder the character I play, the less I care about everything else being perfect. Yeah, so here's to 2 more shows and maybe a few other jams, and otherwise just not speaking more English like I'm doing now, and letting my mind just brew in the German atmosphere und Geist of the Zeits. So I traveled to Lübeck, which is slightly north of here. It's this incredibly beautiful old town area, lovely architecture. But now back in Hamburg, beautiful day, and going to play an improvised crime show, Krimi, this evening. And I'm going to be like the detective's sidekick. The detective's Norwegian sidekick is my role this evening. So I think that will make it a lot easier for me, and then it's not end of the world if I don't understand what's going on and completely ruin the plot line. So that'll be exciting. Krimi-Theater, das glaube ich ist uns.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu Morden im Norden, dem Impro-Krimi der steifen Brise.
Okay. I'm backstage because it's not time yet for me to come out. So let's just enjoy the show. Nice. Ja.
Haben Sie es verstanden? Was? Ja, wir haben richtig.
Ja? Ja? Wow. That was super duper fun and incredibly confusing. I had no idea what was going on or who'd done it or anything. But it kind of worked. Slapstick Norwegian Sidekick Gag. Jetzt überquere ich noch einmal den Straße. Hier vorne von mir gibt's keine Sackgasse. Schönen Tag. Alright, it's game day today, people. So when I was invited to Hamburg to play, first show they asked me to do is the musical, which is in a few hours, and I'm very happy that this came sort of at the end of the trip, or after 2 other shows, to sort of warm up to it a little bit. Now, musicals are my absolute favorite, sort of that's mainly the kind of improv that I do, so I play a lot of shows, I teach other people how to do it and stuff, but never done it in German, or that's not quite true. So in the crime show we had yesterday, all of a sudden a song situation happened, and it was pretty damn chaotic and didn't make a lot of sense. So I think the sort of worst thing that could happen today is to just get in my head and try to like rhyme too much or be too wordy. I like nailing the rhymes in English. I don't think that's gonna work in German. So what is the goal here? The goal is to basically be present, manage to relax into the scenes, listen to my scene partners, and when a song comes, just try to lean into the feeling of it. And less is more. No, not necessary to have any rhymes. Just try and use as easy language as is necessary to be able to sort of comfortably communicate something. I hope that will be possible. I hope it won't be necessary to switch into English for songs, although that would be fine. Might even be fun to have an English song in the show. But I'm pretty excited. I haven't like prepared much specifically. I thought maybe I would, you know, have word lists of rhymes, practice rhymes, listen to a lot of German music. So I sort of had some moves to go to. That has not happened. So now I'm basically just going to rely on, you know, work that has already been done and see if, we'll just see if it's actually possible to play a good show and make up some songs and have a good time in German after, you know, a couple of years of having learned the language. The answer might be no. Maybe it isn't possible. And that, well, then we know. But then I'll also know exactly what I need to work on. So I hope after this evening, hopefully it will be a good show, but also I'll have some specific points where I know that, like, to be able to do this well, I need to work on this, and I will know what to work on based on experience. But if everything goes to hell, it'll be a fun little failure for the failure bank. Got those good kind of nerves. This is what I do for fun. Wir singen jetzt auf Deutsch und es macht viel Spaß. Wir singen jetzt auf Deutsch, es ist toll und es ist krass. Wir singen jetzt auf Deutsch und das werden wir heute Abend tun. Wir singen jetzt auf Deutsch, eine deutsche Situation. Ah, this is gonna be so awesome. Hier haben wir Bodenstedtstraße. Ich habe 2 Augen und eine Nase. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Brauchst du auf mein Schiff, Pettersson?
Ich rauche immer auf deinem Schiff, Andi.
Ja, ob du nicht meine beste Mannschaft war, Pettersson, dann würde ich dich raus ins Wasser werfen. Weißt du das? Wie der letzte Mann. Ja.
Andi, ich freue mich auch, dass ich dir manchmal ein bisschen helfen kann. Ja, aber also danke, dass du mich nach Helgoland bringst heute.
Ja, kein Problem. Helgoland ist eine wunderschöne Ort dort. Ja. Weißt du, das ist meine Heimat.
Ach, du kommst ursprünglich auch aus Helgoland? Geboren, born and raised in Helgoland?
Geboren und geraced, genau. Aus Helgoland. Aber ich war noch nie zurück, seit ich ein junger Kerl war. So, ich habe ein bisschen Angst, um meine Familie noch einmal zu sehen. Und ja.
Andi, das wusste ich gar nicht. Oh, schlimmer als
es war einmal, ich war ein junger Kerl und ich bin auf den großen Meer gesegelt. Es war einmal, ich wollte gerne meinen Wohlstand und Zukunft finden auf der anderen Seite der Welt. Es gab einmal, ich hatte Träume, ich wollte einen großartigen Kapitän werden. das bin ich jetzt. Und jetzt geh ich zurück zu meinem Hause auf diese Insel. Ich bin zurück auf große Wellen mit mein eigenes Schiff. Ich bin zurück. Ich will meinem Vater erzählen, wer der echte Mann ist, ja. Ich bin zurück und ich weiß nicht genau, was werde passieren, aber ich bin sehr froh, dass du hier mit mir bist, Person. Ich bin zurück dann, das ist, was ich dir sagen wollte.
Also ich würde sagen, die Frage nach der Helena 3 lässt sich nur mit einem Rap-Battle lösen.
Ist das der einzige, was reicht?
Ja, und Geld, aber erstmal das.
Okay. Du sagst, du willst auch noch One Piece haben, aber das ist mit und du bist meine Sklaven. Ich glaube, es riecht nach mehr. Ich habe viel Butter in meinem Mund rein. Du weißt, wer ich bin. Ich bin ein Kapitän. Heute Abend bin ich deiner Meister. Erfahrung habe ich wenig, aber ein Traum habe ich noch. Das ist die Wahrheit. Ich brauche einen Traum für mein Leben. Ich brauche einen Traum für mich selbst. Ich brauche einen Traum für mein Leben. Und dann lebe ich mein ganzes Leben lang. Ich habe oft gelogen, ich war mit dir nicht echt. Und wenn ich ehrlich bin, dann fühle ich mich ein bisschen schlecht. Was muss ich machen, um mein Herz reinigen zu machen? Vielleicht gibt's das etwas, das ich machen muss. Ohne Schluss, ich will ein reines Herz. Es ist keine Scherz, ein reines Herz. Das wäre reines Herz. Schön. Ich sprich gar keine Deutsch. Norwegisch vielleicht. Du einen havflue, du nydelig og ung, du ser ut som en drøm. Jeg mener du akkurat slik du bør være. Der du svømmer i vann, det mye jeg kan lære. Jetzt haben wir One Piece und wir teilen es in zwei Pieces. One Piece, der größte Schatz haben wir hier dabei. Dabei ist der größte Schatz, oh Gott, oh ja! Yeah, yeah, yeah!
Make it epic.
Epic!
Do it for the blog.
Friendship forever with Helgoland.
Friendship for Helgoland.
Oh my
Es
god.
gibt Bier und ich kaufe meine.
Auch Bier. All right, the musical show is done and dusted, and that was pretty much the goal for this trip in Germany. Also, it's kind of been my goal for the entire time I've been learning German. Thank you very much to Hannah, who managed to film a few clips of the show, so there's a little bit there to look at, but it went extremely well, like over way better than I could have expected or hoped for. So it basically just worked. And it's maybe a strange thing to do. This has been my goal for a long time. Strange to want to play improv shows in another language, in a foreign language. And it's also not my goal to like play the best improv show in the world. But for me, the sort of tools you practice in improv are basically tools for having a bit of an adventure. So how to deal with uncertainty, the fear of failure, and then just discovering something cool along the way. And as a solo player, you know, you get to confront problems and play with them and then discover a story and the solution. But even better when you're playing with other people, then the both of you might have an idea, but then together you discover something new, which quite often is much better than anything you could have figured out in your own head. So it's all about listening, noticing something, taking action, and then discovering what the next step is. So you practice that through improv, and I feel like that's an incredibly important thing in your life. If you're struggling with uncertainty, struggling with taking action, being afraid of not doing things perfect, being a perfectionist, then practicing a bit of improv in your life is great. And learning a language as well is kind of an adventure. You are constantly struggling with overcoming problems and trying to communicate with people, and you're making discoveries with the new people you can speak to, discovering a whole new culture, a whole new country as well. And it's the most natural thing in the world that we've all done as children, but it is so scary because we're used to doing it perfectly. Then as soon as we start trying to do it from the beginning as well, we feel like babies and we feel stupid because we're making so many mistakes. And then of course, you hide away from that feeling and you never make any progress. So by practicing improv techniques in the language learning journey, then you're hopefully doing it with a group of people, which is nice. We have lots of great AI tools and stuff to learn languages, but we're learning it so we can actually communicate with people. So let's do that from day one. So you get together with people and you're just being playful, and you're encountering a mistake, and then the magic is in how you deal with that communication obstacle. And that will be at a certain level when you just begin, and then when you're at a higher level, it'll be somewhere else. So then by playing improv, you're constantly getting real world feedback as to where you are, what are your particular sticking points, what do you need to practice, and that just completely rockets your learning. So I'm very much excited to continue exploring doing improv in other languages. Probably going to do a similar project in Chinese next. I also want to learn French. So hey, why not try to jump on a stage after a couple of weeks of French and just see what's possible to do with super basic stuff, and then what's possible to do a year later. So this is an eternal game, and it's just fun. So the point is in the playing, and I hope that other people get to playing as well and learning another language, and then just using this playful attitude, a bit of playful practice in anything that you do in life, because it just makes things much more meaningful in the here and now. So that's it for this. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be exploring more of these ideas of playful practice and language learning and having a bit of an adventure, writing some stuff on Substack. So check out Playful Practice on Substack if you're interested in more. And let's see where this goes. But for now, I did a thing I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it feels amazing. Vielen Dank Deutschland. Ich komme gerne zurück. und ich freue mich für mehr Improvisationstheater auch. That's it for this time. Cheerio!